governors present here, the family mar the late Ajuang Nyakwamba, Makauono, Wawito, Akelo Kuyo na Makende, ne familia. Amosu kendo ni Nyasaye ber, seche duto. Adwana wach kama machuok. Mokuongo, adwana wach ni an kaka Nyawang'aya, siasa na ochakore Kajuang ka. Nikech osiep manenie kinda gi the late Gerald Otieno Kajuang. Nyapimo matin. Ni an kana donje siasa ne an nyako matin maonge gimore luete. To Kajuang mapambano ne wuoi machunye ler. Kajuang nego bura marang'ongo togonyo ji te. To analidho tagoni jothurwa unena. Tapondo to Kajuang gonyo everybody e kaka nadonje siasa. Omiyo ka jaduong' onindo akwanora kaka achiel kuom jodalani. Tadwana wachi ni jaduong' onyuolo yawuoyi mathuondi gi nyiri mathuondi. Adwana wachi ni legacy mare will live on in these young men and women. TJ ni kagwambo biro Homa Bay ka koro piny onindo ni wadhi chamo muma Nairobi. Agwambo biro ka Pinyo tuere, agwambo wero ni go Garuna, go Garuna, ter Garune nam go Garune, mondo nyango make go Garune, mondo kopo chwe go Garune. Yowi, kapinyo nindo to wuoda Ajuang ni, emodhi. Momio, Jakomo chamo muma chiencha. Musa ni, en wuoi matin to bith. Kawatimo Firimbi movement. Musa no se wachka ni wuok oko. Akiani ni placard chaniso yango. Tidonjo mi biro gi placard kitingu. To Firimbi bigoyo. Omera yie kodi. To kidhie tuvini dhumo kisungu. Idhume yako yawa. Omiyo, we are very proud of this family and happy to be associated. I just want to say one or two things. This old man left a legacy of development. And Honorable Millie, yesterday as we were speaking here, we said that one of the things that together all of us as legislators from this area we're going to do with you is to ensure that we find resources to ensure that the TTI Makaeni otieki with immediate effect, otieki as soon as possible. The other thing we said is we are going to look for resources for purposes of the Tom Mboya University College of the Blue Economy, somewhere here in Gingo, somewhere. And the other thing we agreed is that we are going to come here to complete the church that the Mzee started. We are going to come here on one day and complete it as a part of his legacy. And what I am happy with Jacom, because Jacom ginitimo nwa, nyochi mako badua mitero wa ka finance kumiketa monda bede Jacom cha. Mokel pesa. Adwa nuling Martin. Okel pesa. $1,100,000 gi piera dek. Migero go jinari. Turwa ka karachuonyo ka mondo jowa doge pur pamba. Mondo wabed gi pesa ya ofuku wa. Wagoni erokamano Jacob kuom tich manyitiyo nwa kimakori kodwa mondo jinari obiturwa ka jopurwa owetero pamba, Busia owetero pamba, Kilifi owetero pamba, Kitui mondo gibed gi pesa maber e ofuku gi. Mogik, lek mar jaduong was to see a Raila Odinga presidency. And we are happy that the clouds are gathering. And we are happy ni waneno ka polo chokore. Monda Gwambo odonj kacha. And we want to assure Kenyans that the person with a track record for development, the person who started rural electrification in this country, the person who brought rural roads, the person who brought rural healthcare is none other than Raila Odinga. Let me say the final word I'm saying in English. To the IBC, Chebukati na wenzako tafadhali. Mukomeshe ile mambo ambayo munafanya kwa sasa. Mungoje wale commissioners wengine wakuje. Ndio hii mambo yote ambayo munafanya on placement of returning officers, county election management officers, muendelee nayo after that. But I also want to say this, because Kenyans remember very well. Chebukati, you're the one who presided over an election that was nullified for the first time in the history of this country and of the entire Africa continent. We will be very, very naive to expect to go to another election with Chebukati at the helm. Mimi nataka niseme hivi, mimi kama wanga tu. An election presided over by Chebukati, naogopa sana, 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 sana. So as members of parliament, we shall consult and find the best way forward for this country, so that this country never has to plunge again into chaos because of an election that has not been properly conducted. Kati yeko jodala watu ngeni dala waka, akuba nyo wacho ni kis moro kano kama den saidi. Mar gavana mabiro mbele kani. Tapenjo u, kama kubo kane kifungucha. Ananeno ni ngamangiyo, emanyalo bedo gina fas mar golo kifunguno. Ngata machielo, to kifunguno nyalo bedo gitabu. Agondu wero kamano nyasayo gue duduto. Adwa ni mondo, I recognize your chama. Nikech Homa Bay ka ane bishop mar chama mar Homa Bay County. Adwa ni jo chama uchung malo. Nikech thurwa ka en piny mar ODM. From across the county, these are officials of the ODM party. Kawacho ni ODM, tumia tuko tayari. ODM! Daka winju, ODM! ODM! Asante sana.
Thank you very much, Honorable Gladys Wanga. Hallelujah. Thank you very much, Honorable Gladys Wanga, Chairman wa Homa Bay County. Let me take this opportunity. Hallelujah. Let me take this opportunity just to inform us. Mawach magi dowa Gladys okwayo ni mondo okas TTI wo yud pesa. Aduoko ne Honorable Raila Odinga erokamano nikech role mose play mwase yudo pesa dikoro pod wan mabor molo kanyo. Nitie moko mok wacha yanga nikech nitie kako timonwa Tudson. Koro Tudson no omiyo wasechopo kama wantie no to kendo medo dhi mbele. To kumana mano nitie mamoko mapanu neno kwa timo Suba North ka wan gi colleges adek that are upcoming. Wagone jakomero kamano kuom tich mosetiono maber. Let me take this opportunity nikech waringo mapio to invite Honorable Ochilo Ayako, who will invite the senators, and we are going after that to invite the party chair, and then we will have the family before then we go to the next level. Thank you.
Jo Homa Bay untie kama untie fuana uru. Ero uru kamano jo Homa Bay. Ne President Marwa 2022 Raila Odinga. Anybody with that doubt should go and pray. Ne viongozi wenzangu wale wako hapa, kanisa, watu wa Homa Bay wote wale wako hapa. Mimi nitatembeza hii kipindi kifupi kama kaimu senator wa Homa Bay. Ndugu yangu Moses Kajwang is on compassionate leave. Koro ane acting senator ma Homa Bay e thuolo matin ni kapodene compassionate leave ka ng'atieko kaa jo Homa Bay manyalo dwaro gonyo matin mano be wasewacho kode kadhi to manyalo nena onena kaka nyakwar jamoko urwako bas adwa wacho matin to program dhi bedo kama awacho matin taluongo senator wadwa Olekina aeto kaseluongo Olekina subra kidogo aeto waluongo national chairman mar ODM aeto program dhi malo. Koro nitie jogewa mane poko wuoyo to thuolo ni an under strict instructions ni kik giwuo nikech sang'eny. To thuola bro chiwo mana matin nikech ka ang James Orengo kawe tok family to donje governors tir to chomo president to president okwadwa nwa kete liela inya doge kamano. Basaka thuolo ni adwa luongo deputy governor maka. Deputy governor in kende maluongi nikech in bende ibiro ka nitie deputy moro to fua kama entie koro aita tieko program nigi ka nikech in bende in ja Homa Bay ka koro deputy governor karibu dakika matin.
Hello. Thank you very much.
No, you can governor
Erokamano abende adwoko makuyo na kende governor nantie kang no wuo warwako prime minister my his excellency Raila Odinga makoro telo rieyo jodalawa to kaka jomoko osewacho wan wadwa appeal ne jo Homa Bay county mapoko kao kura ka manyuru ID ka uru kura nikech kura mitelo go ng'ate telo ko kamano kabiwe mang'eny an gi governor ka ang no wuo anaduoko ma erokamano e biro to maduong' moloyo wi ok wil kane wa campaign ne senator wa kane wawito osiepwa TJ Kajwang' aduoko ni erokamano ing'e lweny mane wagoyo mane wakelogo senator kabiro wi ok wil momiyo ka waneno ka jaduong' onindo to ang'e ni jaduong' owewa gi joma konyowa senator watiyonwa maber Homa Bay waduoko erokamano ang'e ni governor ang' nowach mano to gi governors mobiro konyo wako ja lweny motegno waduoko nuero kamano ung'e ni governor we tich to kowe tich abenda ng'iyo makanyo jodalawa ok an nono adwa mane abowena ero uru kamano.
Hello. Bas wadhi nyime akoni ane acting senator e thuolo matin an bende adwa kelo kuyo mara makende na leta rambirambi yangu ya kipekee kama kijana ya hii boma nyithindo ma Daudi Ajwang' onyuolo te osebedo osiepena e thuolo no nyaka thuolo masani kendo an bende an achiel ma kuom yawuot Daudi Ajwang' makoro an bende kaka wayuoro ni waduoko erokamano ne joliel wetewa kuom biro konyo wako babawa. Daudi ni ne en babawa adieri to kendo nabiro dala ka mang'eny. Ing'eni uluonge ka ni japuonj to thothu jogo neno mana siasa mar Gerald Otieno Kajwang'. Ne antiere bunge gi Gerald Otieno Kajwang' kendo Gerald Otieno Kajwang' noluoro jaduong' ni mako winjo duond ma jaduong' oluongego to kona ni nyakwar jamoko wadonje mtoka achiel ni mtoka ni waringo wadhwa moso baba na mboga yako awendo aeto wabiro walimogo jaduong' Daudi Ajwang' nyakwamba ka to nogwela ni mondo jaduong' kik dhawne ahinya nikech ochilo biro omiyo jaduong' ni ne jaduong' ma strict kendo Tieno ma wuode ne winje kadisi TJ Kajwang' ne winje kadisi Onyango Kajwang' winje kadisi Timothy Ajwang' winje kadisi Okot Ajwang' winje kadisi Moses Kajwang' winje kadisi jaduong' ni ng'ama ber ma obedo gi nyithindo mochiwo luor kendo nyithindogo moro ka moro tero kiti kendo nyithindogo jok mabeyo. Adwa wacho kama achaka biro kae ogudu mar wat nikech an bende ayako makwara en nyakwar waondo ka, en wuod lando nyoluoch manyar waondo ka. To jaduong' mwabiro yuagoni bende nyakwar sakwa, omiyo ka josakwa moko ni ka, to an bende abiro kaka josakwa ma bende obiro kowo nyakwar gi ka. Omiyo ating'ora maber kendo ating'ora ma ogajore. Koro kami luonge wede an be kanyo ugwela, to ka wuok to an senate an bende jomoko lubanga, wadhu wadil kodgi kaka wadil gi jogo mohero, wadonge kamano. Koro adwa wacho katieko aita luongo Lekina. Yakom, somebody has come here talking about bottoms up. Some of us who understand the language and who are true Africans know that in Africa, if an elderly person brought his bottom and showed it to you, it's a curse. Kaja duong dang gum ni enango. Kaja duong dang gum ni enango. I want to encourage that fella to be sensible. This is Africa. We don't want to see bottoms going up. We want to see maendeleo going up. And there are already structures. We have a national government whose obligation is to grow the economy. And that is the government that Raila Odinga will lead. We have county governments already at the grassroots. And the father and patriot and senior champion of county governments is Raila Odinga. I understand what he's saying in his policy, that we will industrialize at Mashinani. In other words, he intends to partner with the county governments to ensure there is industrialization, there is modern agriculture, but hii mambo ya kuenua mkundu juu ama matako juu, watu kama sisi wa Afrika hatupendi hayo mambo. Kwa hivyo huyo ndugu wetu wa mkundu awache hiyo mambo, huyo ndugu wa matako awache hiyo mambo, ajue sisi ni wa Afrika, tunataka ujenzi ikitoka mashinani, tunataka maendeleo ikitoka mashinani, ili tujenge Kenya ambayo sisi zote inatufaidi. Baada ya kusema hayo machache, ningependa kualika ndugu yangu, seneta mwenzangu, jirani, iluongoni Masai, iluongoni Olekina. Karibu hapa kwenyu Olekina. Sisi tunakupenda kama ndugu yetu na tunajua unapenda baba. Na wewe ni rafiki ya Moses Kajwang, TJ Kajwang na Iboma. Karibu, iwachane Martin Wodalawa. Thank you.
Asante sana. Jadirwa ontie. Jaluo Masai achiel. Sindio? Baba amor nenau kendo. And my dear brother Moses, my dear brother Kajwang, TJ, and the entire family. You people have been standing strongly with us. And there's no way I could have stayed without coming to condone with your family. You are brothers. TJ, let me tell you, Moses and I are blood brothers. And that is why I made sure that I was here today. Because this young man has stood with us. When we've had challenges in our family, he has been there. Last year, early this year, he drove all the way from Homa Bay to Loitoktok to be able to condone with us. So this is a real friend and a brother. And that is why I've come to say, poleni sana, kwa sababu kumpoteza baba ni kitu ngumu. Lakini nimefurahi. Nimefurahi kwa sababu nimeusoma historia ya baba. Ni mwanaume kamili ambaye ukipata watoto 35, hiyo si mchezo. Hiyo ni kuhakikisha umeacha mbegu kila mahali imekuwa mzuri kabisa. Na unajua wanaume wote wanatakiwa wanakuwa na watoto wengi alafu wanaacha mbegu kila mahali. Hiyo ndio hii mbegu yake itaishi milele na milele. Ni kitu ambaye namshukuru Mungu sana. Ile kitu ambaye pia nimefurahi kuona ni kwamba mzee alikuwa na ng'ombe nyingi sana. Mimi kusoma hiyo, ile nywele kubwa ya Kimasai inasimama inatetemeka inasema oye. Oyole raba. Yeye ni mwanaume kabisa. Kwa sababu ng'ombe ndio inakuonesha ile namna tunaenda. Mimi nasema pole, Mungu awapatie nguvu, na mjue ya kwamba sasa kazi ni kwenyu. Ndio watoto wenyu pia, vijana wenyu pia waweze kufuatilia ile desturi na ile nyayo ya mzee ili tuweze kwenda mbele. Ya pili, juu sitaendeleza sana, mimi leo nimesimama hapa na nataka nyinyi wote watu wa Homa Bay msikie hii. Sisi wa Masai ni watu ambaye tukimaliza kitu, tukisema kitu, haturudi nyuma. Sisi tunasimama na Raila Amolo Odinga mpaka mwisho. Na mimi naambia hivi, saizi baba akishuka wakienda huko Narok, hata si kama venye amekuja hapa Homa Bay. Pengine ni kwa sababu nyinyi mmezoea sana. Baba ni mtu ambaye tumeshika, amebaki na sisi kwa miaka yote, na baba nataka kuhakikishia kwamba sisi wa Masai tuko na wewe mpaka siku ile utakuwa President of the Republic of Kenya. And I want to assure you ya kwamba when I speak here, I speak with authority. Because we are showing our people, the Masai nation, the direction to follow. Sisi ni watu ambaye tunaogopa ardhi yetu isichukuliwe. Sisi ni watu ambaye ni wafugaji. Kama mzee Ajuang alipokuwa mfugaji. Kweli, tukuwa na a lot of encroachment into our lands and territories. Watu wetu si watakufa njaa. Na sisi tunajua Jaluo na Masai ni kitu kimoja. Kwanza Jaluo ana haja ya shamba ya Masai. Hana haja. Na ndio sisi tumesema sisi tutafuata baba kwa sababu ametuonesha ile njia ya kwenda. Na wacha niwaambie, unajua iko msemo kidogo ambaye Wajerumani ndio walitoa, wanasema wacha ile maumbo kidogo kidogo iwike. Siku ile maumbo kubwa kama sisi tunaanza kuwika, ndio watajua kwamba tuko na direction ya kwenda. Baba, mimi nakuomba usimame hivyo. Sisi tumesimama, tunakufuata pamoja na Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Hiyo maneno ya handshake ndio imeleta peace katika Kenya hii. Ndio imeleta development katika Kenya hii. Na ndio sisi tumesimama tukasema haturudi nyuma wala hatubanduki. Hii maneno mengine inazungumzio ni itaisha. Baba, mimi nataka kumalizia ni kuambia kwamba msijali, hata usikuja Narok kutafuta kura. Sisi tutasimama imara na wewe, tuhakikishe kwamba wewe umekuwa president wa 5 wa Kenya. Siku ile utamaliza, basi hata naye Masai anakuja kusimama kuomba hiyo kiti. Ama namna gani? Sasa muangalie hii ndume vizuri sahi. Kwa sababu after 10 years atakuja hapa kuambia nyinyi basi rudisheni asante. Mungu awabariki sana na aileze mwili ya marehemu mahali pema peponi, ambaye akifika huko asalimie kina Ndimama, asalimie John Keane, asalimie Ole Sangale, asalimie Ole Gilisho, ile damu yote ya Masai imesimama. Lakini kwa wale ambaye tumewaachwa kazi, hapa kazi ni kwetu sasa. Sisi sasa tusimame, ukiamuka, ukikula chakula, ukilala, useme Raila president wa 5 wa Kenya. Asanteni sana.
Owacho kose okowacho. Ber kose okber. Olekina wamesema asante sana. Olekina ni bejadala wa Jalubang ayako mara ngwen nodhi obedo Masai dala giluongo ni Kleti Olol Dikir. Asante sana. En bende yando nindo 5 or 3 years ago. Koro adhi mana mbele, Kisumu County, the governor ought to have been here. The governor is represented by the speaker. The speaker come here, condole, say the governor's message, and return this thing immediately back. I'm the acting senator and also the speaker of this forum. Kwa hivyo fuata hiyo idhini, alafu tumalize haraka, tusiweke president hapa na wakubwa wale wametembea na president.
Erokamano, ne joka Juang te, Homa Bay duto, Nyasaye ber, seche te, erokamano abiro kwa niaba mar Kisumu County, ora kod Governor Professor Peter Nyang' Nyong'o is out on official function with the Deputy Governor. And he has said, Ajuang, Moses, na watu ndi mos. Watimo mos makende, angeo no biro chopo kuomu, kako ngeo. and the governor is out on a very official function, Ungeo Kisumu County will be having an investment conference between 23rd and 26th of September this year. Kendo Wachonani, I remind everybody that Kisumu County, you are welcome between 23rd and 26th for the investment conference. Nikech Piny Oknyalger, Gipes Sirikal Kende, we must have public-private partnership and we must have investors coming to the county. I also want to convey condolence to Kisumu County Assembly. Otherwise, I've been a bit of a kawat. Omera Maduong, Okendo, Kajaduong Orwa, and familia Marjo Kajuanka, Mosurai na Irokamano.
Opacho maber kose ok ber. Basadhi mana mapiyo. Adwa tero program malo moloyo kumane entiere. To kapok agik kanyo program mabro bire token kama. Abro invite the National Party Chairman mar ODM. En gosiepne moae got maduong' miluongo ni got Kenya. Obro nyisou gosiepne gima gidwa wacho. Aeto tokeno National Chairman ibiro kawo thuolo mondo wami family mondo odhi nyime gi thuolo kaka gichane nikech gine momiyo ne wabiro ka. Aeto etok mano tiduogi gwel James Agri Boborengo mondo ne kaka gidhi nyime gi governors. Aeto gichopo ir president marwa. Mane kako nyisa ka to kendo mane mawacho ma okamede kata matin. Adwaro weyo program gi kanyo to jo Homa Bay County gi jo Kenya mantiere ka te. Wachak wuotho kanyakla kendo wawuoth bang' our president. Wachak wuotho kanyakla kendo walim jo Kenya duto. Wachak wuotho kanyakla mondo walos Kenya marwa 2022. Adwa tieke gi kanyo TJ Kajwang', in ng'ama watimo go madongo kawuono oywago wuorwa kodi. Tang'eno lit ni maloya, tan bendo litna. Musa Kajwang' jambero wadwa, in bende wako babani kod babana, en wuoru masie, en bendo litna. Jo koto mosiep na ndalo mang'eny, okoto mos, Timothy mos, Onyanga Jwang' mos, Jeni nyaka bed ni ka, to kendo nitiere nyia Jwang' mang'eny, Daktari Benika mos, uru jodala ka. Jaduong' Shadrach Nyakwamba mos, Jaduong' Sami Kitegi Nyakwamba mos, gi jowaondo duto, jokong'onda, gi jokong'ongo, jombita ka, jomigori ka, to gi kuonde duto. Mad Nyasaye ket kwe mare gi hera kakoro wawuoka. Mheshimiwa National Chairman, Jaduong' Mbadi Ng'ong'o, okika pimne jogi kumane wang'ere kodi kwatindo. To na itin maloya, to sani tiduong' maloya, to ing'eni pinye kaka jiriwo mbas to jisudo. Donge kamano? Asante.
An kapok awacho gimoro amora, jothuro auntie, wan ka gosiepwa, mabende osiep joka Kajwang' moa e piny ma Central, kendo mabende wan ge bunge mar 10, kendo sani wan ge bunge, kendo en jakom mochung' ne weche katiba. Mano iluongo ni Jeremiah Kioni. I want to invite welcome Honorable Jeremiah Kioni. But as he comes, I want to also register apology of the Speaker of the National Assembly, who sent Elisha Odhiambo, even with his contribution to the Kajwang' family. Jothuro okwarwa Kioni. Asante. Karibu Mheshimiwa.
Nimejifunza kidogo. Amaso judo athuro. Maybe I try it again. Ama niseme udhinande. Was okwa uru.
Okwe.
Very good.
Okwe.
Ni okwe. Asante sana. Thank you. Your Excellency, the former Prime Minister, Bamba Raila Odinga, governors present here and the senators, the family of the late Mzee, na sisi wote ambao tuko hapa. Nataka kusema machache tu kwa sababu mimi ninaitwa Jeremiah Kioni na nimetoka kule pande ya Nyandarua, constituency inaitwa Daragwa. Na Daragwa ama Nyandarua ni moja ya zile tunasema Mount Kenya, iko ndani ya Mount Kenya. Kwa hivyo pia tuko hapa kutoka eneo la Mount Kenya. Na mimi kitu ya kwanza kusema ni kwamba nilitamani siasa ama uongozi kwa sababu nilikuwa nampenda aliyetuacha Gerard Kajwang. Nilikuwa naona akiongea kwa mbunge na nikatamani kuwa kiongozi kama yeye. Sikujua kwamba tutakutana na TJ Kajwang, sikujua kwamba tutakutana na Moses Kajwang, na leo tumepatana na Peter pia kutoka pande ya Nakuru. Na la muhimu ni kwamba huyu mzee ambaye tumekuja kumuaga ni kusema kwamba amefanya kazi ya maajabu. Kama ametupa viongozi kama wao ambao wametumikia Kenya mzima. Mtu ametoka hapa anachaguliwa Nakuru, mwingine anatoka hapa anachaguliwa Nairobi. Hiyo ni kusema ya kwamba Bamba alifanya kazi ya maana kwa sababu vitendo vingi huonekana kupitia kwa watoto. And we are here, my brothers, Honorable Kajwang, Senator Kajwang, and Peter. We are happy to be with you and the family. I am the chairman of CIOC. My vice chair is here, Mheshimiwa Karuma. Tuko na Mheshimiwa Oruoch pale. Tuko na Mheshimiwa Wajara. And I know I could leave out others. And these are distinguished leaders in this country, including the ones I've mentioned. Wakiwa kule bugeni, tunawaheshimu, tunawasikiza. Na hiyo heshima ndio imetuleta hapa kuwa pamoja nanyi. Na tunasema pole. But the good thing is that your father has shown us the way. And we all have to follow. We know what we need to do with our kids so that they can also be as good or as useful as my brothers here. Lakini kuna jambo lingine nimeona nilipokuwa nasoma hii history. Huyu mzee amejenga mashule, amekuwako wakati pengine ingekuwa rahisi kupora mali ya Kenya hii, na hakuna pahali tunasikia alipola. He led a selfless life, a life that sought to improve the life of other Kenyans. Yeye amejenga hayo mashule. Even at old age, he is still talking of technical colleges here. And is an example to us, even us from other parts of this country, of how you can be useful by thinking about other people instead of thinking about your own self. Na ile shida ambayo imetukuba Kenya hii ni uporaji wa mali ya umma. Every time we have been elected, as Kibaki would say, we take it as an opportunity to satisfy our personal greed, as opposed to knowing that it is a privilege to serve others. And with us here also is the former Prime Minister, Baba Raila Odinga. And I respect him a lot. And I can tell you, nimekuja na salamu kutoka Mount Kenya kwenyu, na nataka kusema hivi. The time the former Prime Minister has served this republic, tangu utotoni wangu, kwa sababu mimi nilimpata akiwa uongozi. Kama angekuwa mtu wa kutafuta mali yake ya kujitajirisha, we would be seeing it. But he has dedicated his life to improve the lives of Kenyans all over this country. From the day we knew him, yeye amekuwa tu akipigana ili maisha yetu kama wa Kenya iwe bora. Wengine juzi tu wamekuja, wameingilia hiyo maneno. Saa hii wizi ndio namba moja, uporaji ndio namba moja, Ile shida tuko nayo ni kwa sababu ya uporaji wa mali ya Kenya. And I want to say this. If we are looking for a leader, if we are looking for leaders, it is leaders who come to serve others selflessly bila kufikiria kujitajirisha. Ni mali gani mzee amezikwa nayo? Amna. Yale tunamkubuka ni yale alifanya. And again, I say that we have an example with us in the name of the former Prime Minister, Raila Odinga. Ingie siasa kidogo. Kidogo tu, kwa sababu jana kuna mtu alisema jambo kanikera. Na alisema nafikiri alikuwa kule pade ya Madira. This is the member of parliament for Madira. Na alisema ya kwamba kuuza Raila Odinga Mount Kenya ati ni gumu kama kuuza, hata sitaki kumaliza. I want to say this. Kuuza, we sold, let me now be blunt here. William was sold in Mount Kenya after the killings of 2007. That was the most difficult thing that ever happened in this republic. And that happened in Mount Kenya region. To say Raila Odinga amejiuza ni kwenda tu kule kutembea na kuongea na watu. If it wasn't for the handshake of 2017, hatungekuwa na hii amani tuko nayo hapa. And it is good to recognize and give credit where it is due. We want to say thank you to Raila Odinga. If it wasn't for him, for 4 years, the deputy president has undermined the president. 4 years. Amesuguka Kenya na hasa Mount Kenya, pahali nimetoka. Kutufanya tukose heshima kwa rais na kufanya Wakenya wa pande hiyo wamudharau rais. We will undo it in the coming number of months. 2-3 months we will have undone it. Sisi kutoka mlima hapana wajinga. You cannot come and tell us to hate Uhuru and to hate Raila, the people who came together and he had time to move around the country. Tunaenda hapa 2022. This country has always been better. It has always been peaceful whenever Kikuyus and Luos have come together. We saw it 2017 as the last episode. Unaweza enda uende mpaka 1963 Jaramogi mwenyewe na Kenyatta mzee. 1992 wakasema tena tulipoungana section 2A ikaondolewa. 1997 tukapata ile tunaita IPPG. 2002 tukasema Raila akasema Kibaki tosha, Kenya ikatulia. 2007 tukauda serikali ya Grand Coalition Government. Serikali ambayo ilituhakikisha kwamba uchumi uliinduka kwa 7%, the highest that we have ever achieved in this republic. 2010 tukapata katiba when we came together. We have the new constitution. 2017 handshake, it has given us peace that we have today. 2020 tumepata BBI na nina imani ya kwamba hata koti wataotoka kwa hii maneno ya siasa. So, barabara ya kwenda mbele imejipanga. Na wale ambao hawana hiyo hawaoni, sasa fungua macho uone. Pahali tunaenda imejiandika. Mwenyezi Mungu atatufikisha pale na tutaenda pale tukiwa na kila mmoja. Hakuna maana ya kwenda watu wachache. We want to say that we are happy to have the Prime Minister coming to our area. We will receive him. We will give him opportunity to talk to Kenyans there and look for votes. Hii siasa ya chuki haina maana. Haina maana. Na namalizia na kusema ya kwamba kama nitoke hapo hiyo nikari. Niseme tu ya kwamba tumekuja kwa sababu ya hii familia. Nimekuja nimebeba salamu za Kikuyu Council of Elders. Tulikuwa kule Bodo na tukapokelewa vizuri. We are going to receive Raila Odinga Baba on the 28th of August kule Nyeri na tunasema karibuni kule. We are going to na pia na nimetoa pole kwa watu ya Daragwa, wametutuma na pole za kwa familia na pia za familia yangu. Na tunasema pole and we want to wish you well and we want to wish you well former Prime Minister, I want to say this. Count us. As you count others, count on us. We will support you as we head towards the promised land, because there we will be. Thank you so much. Na Mwenyezi Mungu awabariki. Asante sana.
An be yena uraka wetulo ni makende. Mudakel mos mara, mar familia mara, mar Josuba South constituency, tukendo gi mar party mar ODM mabende ane jakome e piny mangima. Akelo mos mara ne familia mar jaduong' Ajwang' Nyakwamba. Ji osewuoyo, osepimo kaka gin gi connection gi familia ni. An bende yiena uru jothurwa mondo an bende awuoyie matin dakika moro achiel e connection me kinda gi familia mar jaduong' Ajwang' Nyakwamba. Owadwa TJ, owadwa Moses, mosiepena Peter mabende MCA Nakuru gi party marwa, to gi familia mamoko jaduong' Okoto and the rest, wan kodu e kuyoni. Mosura enya kuom lal mar jaduong'. An ng'ama nakwongo ng'e dala ka iluongo ni Thomas Joseph Kajwang'. Kawane University of Nairobi, wakelo Sonu 92 at the advent of multipartyism. To TJ Kajwang' ni Banka Moi, the former president, no se dagi ni student leadership okodwar. TJ Kajwang' ni emno gather the courage moketo wa streets kaka student leaders mane wakelo Sonu 92. And anine his final year, and emno dibedo the chairman of Sonu 92. To nike inene final year, koro ne wakelo kabando wa kabando, to bedo jakom. Kanye musiepu wakode ochakore, to siepno no hand over ya, ne owadgi miluongo ni the late Gerald Otieno Kajwang'. Makoro di obedo siepna zaidi. Otieno Kajwang' ne wabiro go kwachung' ne yiero mambita constituency diere no. Kane timo nomination gi delegates mag Ford Kenya, kakoro wae Ford, wabire Ford Kenya. To kane wabiro ka mane ma Dr. Molo Pere oyudo go tich. Otieno Kajwang' nwabedo go very close e diere no. Ma diere ma ne Ford timo yiero to Matibo dagi to Jaramogi timo yiero githuon. Nikech kodo Ford nyaka ne tim yiero. Ne kata yudo returning officers mane nyalo dhi timo yiero e Nairobi ne okyot. Wan gutieno Kajwang', wan mano organize students go pio wanda yecha ne kacha. Gondi andiwo bondo ne Akikuyu campus. Bang' mano e kaka na donje siasa. Ago erokamano ne famili mar Kajwang' ahinya. Nikech kane weche tek 2007 ok ong'eya maber ni to mbadi to ng'a. Jopiny to era piny mar Gwasi. Ayombo gi majin maduong'. Dhoga otuon to kora timra nade. Otieno Kajwang' mawuon gi koro waiko kawuono ni ema nowacho ni mathuon nyaka donje bunge. Miye uru tiko mara moja. Nomiya koso komiya. Omiya an gima wacho ne jaduong'. Ka jaduong' dhi, nitie message madwa miye. Ang'eni jomoko wacho ni ng'amothok wuo, ng'amothok nen, hata ng'eni jaduong' Ajwang' Nyakwamba nenu. Nitie gimosiepna nonindo kawacho ni chieng' mane Raila ting' muma, mawach ni mimi Raila Amolo Odinga na hapa ya kwamba ni tieng'no e kaka Kajwang' ne tho. Omiya adwa nodwok ne Nyakwar Nyakwamba wach kama odhiye ni wan wang'eyo ni pok otho. Nyakwar Nyakwamba dhi tho higa manyien ka Raila ting'o muma, mimi Raila Amolo Odinga na hapa ya kwamba nitatumke. Jothurwa uyie gi wachno koso kuyiego? Oganda na majoluo, adwa wuoyo kodu e sama sani, sa bende rach, wendwa bende ng'eny, tadwa na wach achiel nikech ochuna ni nyaka wach. An asomo muma nikech anyathi jadwen. To kasomo muma mar wuok nikech en muma mayot ahinya, an fwenyo kahero. En gi terms matek pastors gi emonge okadwa hero rai gi moro mo kaberie. Anyiso ge piji pile ni ani ngene siasa ema berie. An weche lemo ka keto na donje ka luongo Yesu anyalo luongo ni Raila magola e chamo sao. Omiyo awacho ana somo muma mar wuok. Jo Israel nobede twech igni gi igni. Ka Farao keto gi twech piny mar Misri. To Nyasaye nooro Musa mondo gol gi piny mar Misri oter gi Kanaan. To kano Musa golo jogi bang' ywaruok gi Farao mahoni ni otimore. Ka gidhi gi gike nam makwar, Musa loko wang'e nwang'o ka geche biro ma Farao oro. Jo Israel ywak. Musa igolowa kama betne wayude ber matin, ikelowa wadhi thoka. Musa ywak ni Nyasaye to kori kude wiya nang'o gi jogi. Nyasaye okone ni to in gang'o. Kede more man go kachwad go pimo no barre. Pi no barre ma jo Israel no ng'ado namo dhi loka cha. To ka jo Israel gik loka cha, wija Israel o wil. Ka Musa wegi matin odhi Mount Sinai odhi kelo chike 10. Ka Musa duogo, kundi ka kundi oloso Nyasaye. Kundi ka kundi oloso Nyasaye. Ka Musa penjo ke utima ng'oni. Nie, wan Nyasachi mak neno. Wan wawe waloso nyiseche wa mineno. Winjo oganda luo. Raila Odinga osekadho kodwa okang' mathoth. Dhano ma jaluo ni onge ng'ama nong'eyo ni nyalo bedo president e Kenya ka. Ne ji wacho ni jaluo ni ok nyal gone kura gi kabila moko. Okego ne ema nowuotho e piny Kenya mangima. Ma oyudo kura mane pok ng'ato oyudo e Kenya ka. Omiyo golowa kama pek. Okelowa kama koro wajok wachopo Kanaan. Raila gimoro amora ma dongruok minene piny luo ka. Raila Odinga mokele. Omiyo sama koro wachiegni chopo ni. Un pile pile nyocho neno Jeremiah Kioni kabiro ywak thurwa ka. Ng'ama neno Mureithi kabiro ywak thurwa ka. Uneno ka ja Masai olekino wacho ni Masai nigi baba o kamano. We uro yuma mar keto nyiseche ma kako wang'a migori kacha korgo chila yako. Aneno ka Nyasaye moro wuok kacha. Nyasaye moro pith kacha. Nyasaye moro pith kacha. Nito bende kipenje. Nito ang'oma chandi. Ipenjo kono mera ang'oma chandi. Ang'oma chandi sama penjo runi. Nito duogo wacho ni. Nitiende koro watemo gi Raila ahinya. Ito miwacho ni watemo gi Raila no. Ito wuodi mane misekelonwa manyalo dhi choke kata Masai 20 ma wachne ni dwaro president. Omera we tugo kodwa. Halo? Atieko nikech dalaka pod wan gi thuolo wabiro wuoye adwa wacho kisungu. Mana dakika achiel, Your Excellency kiyiena. Let me say a few words in English. You know, kapok awuoyo kuom Ruto kawinj maber. Dango kanindi. Ruto wang'o iya marach midango kanindi. We uragoe Ruto gi kisungu matin agoe. Let me tell you one thing. And this message is going to William Samoei Ruto direct. Since I was born, I have never seen deputy president of a country taking an investor to another country. I've never seen that. And worse still, investors are people who bring money to invest in another country. I have never seen an investor who comes only with a ruler, briefcase, wheelbarrow, and asking for funding from a poor country like Kenya to take to Uganda to invest in Uganda. Ruto is saying that he's leading hustler nation. The reason why hustlers have no money is because there is no money to loan to enterprises to establish businesses, companies, and farms to employ the youth of this country. That is where the problem is. The problem is not in tokenism. The problem is not on welfareism. Kenyans are hard-working. We are ready to work. The youth are ready to work. The only problem is that they are denied opportunity by corrupt individuals, people who have stolen money meant to construct Aror, Kimwarer, and others. Hello? Ya mwisho. IBC, we are going to approve the 4 names if they are brought to the National Assembly plenary. If there is any change, it will be dealt with. But Chebukati, please stop all that you are doing now until we get full commission. Because we don't trust you. The rest I will say after we will have passed the 4 names. But I wanted to say something, but I will say it after we will have passed the 4 names. Finally, aduoge doluwe makora tie kogo. Anwa siasa maoma beikao kadwa uwe kawuono angeo kunmi uwe siasa maroma Bay County. Akuba jama wego to ajonwane no kane kamokane cha to ungeni joma chuo luo koreka nyakla enam nyase nuango kamokete asekawe. It is with me, it is going with me. Nyasai mariguedu heru kamano. Now
Hallelujah! 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 Thank you for... I want to thank you, the people of Super North. You never disappoint. You have done very well so far, and let us continue in the same spirit. I want to take this opportunity to interrupt the political program because we want to invite the family. And the person who will usher us in first by reading the eulogy is Timothy. Timothy, please come. Tafadhali Timothy. Akwayo joturu andikwa yie, tuwalinge urumos. Gavana anta mona ngama miyo, koro weche magmenyo kanyo no okchanda. Katima nye kama jilu wokore katango wan Super North kajo man go onge kumopande. Magwa direct. Please, Timothy, welcome.
This is how I look like, but I'll proceed with my mask on because I know the rest. The church, Seventh-day Adventist, our friends and relatives, and the political leadership that has come to help us bury our father. My name is Timothy Nyakwamba Kajwang. In Luo, Timotheo Nyakwamba. If you have heard a lot of things that have been said, you know where to place that. For the benefit of some of those who might not have known me, because you've only had 3 names continuously mentioned, I am a youth officer in charge of Western Region, so I work with 4 governors. And I've seen one of them here, Honorable Oparanya. Actually, my office is in Kakamega. Now, I want you to appreciate that we have shared this eulogy in a lot of, in so much media that it might be very boring to read it out to you again. You have it in hard copy, you have it in soft copy, you've seen it all over. It has actually been viral the last week. But I just want to point out a few things that Dad used to emphasize on. Of course, you've seen that Japuny David Ajuang was born in 1932, and some people are not very good in mathematics. So I just wanted to remind you that he died at 89. But without this, because at the time he grew up, there were a lot of issues with age. So we believe, and if you don't want us to believe, we can mathematically round it up and say he died at 90. Now, Dad was brought up in a very humble background, but it was a background that never liked to live in poverty. So he kept on saying that poor or not, a person who is serious, something good must still come from that person. However poor you are, he used to say this: when somebody comes to your home and you're a serious man, even some tree could be growing in your home that other people say, now here he's better than me. And that is what he used to tell all his mentees, that you must have something that at least people would say, here he's better than me. You've been told that he was the second-born child among 8 siblings. Some have been buried, some are alive, and they are with us here. I will still refer you to the eulogy now to get details of name. Now, I also want to summarize that Dad did his schooling, both schooling and his work employment, between 1942, when he started at this primary school here, and retired later in 1987. What is coincidental about this is that he started his schooling in Waundo Primary School and came back to retire in Waundo Primary School as a classroom teacher, even with that graph having risen to a principal and education officer, principal of secondary schools and education officer. He came back to retire in this school. If other people thought it was a demotion, then you should find us quietly so that we explain to you the humility with which this great man lived. His family life is also very interesting, and you can read in the eulogy, but there is something he used to tell us, that my children, did you know that like other friends of mine, I would have chosen to do leisure? And I wonder where you would have been. I would have chosen to drink, dance, continue marrying, and do many other things that my friends do. But now the question was, he wondered where we would have been. So that is how he sired 13 children. Of the 13, I'm in the middle. I'm child number 6. So I'm in the middle. So I think if I listened to him well, I should be able to balance all their issues and challenges. All these 13 children are married, except one, the last born daughter. And only 2 of the 13 have passed away. They all live. They have also made various achievements. It's not bragging, but it's true that all the 13 children of David Ajuang Nyakwamba, the lowest educational achievement is a degree in whichever area. Now, we have said in the eulogy that he survived with 110 grandchildren and 50 great-grandchildren, but we want you to understand that at that level, we have put together the entire Nyakwamba family. It's important to do so because he lived with all of them as their father, each one of them, and he knew each one of them as their father. Now, about Dad's education, if you may go back to it, again, he used to point to us, some of the people with whom he was in class. He told us he was somewhere with Honorable Samungeri, but one other person that he mentioned several times was the late Reverend Gideon Owalo. He used to describe him as a tall man with a long vehicle who was too busy for his studies, so my dad had to do all his mathematics assignments. And still, both of them passed the exam. And it is told that almost all his classrooms, he would assist them in their studies. This man lying here was a great farmer, and he also used to tell all his mentees that never let a season go, however little the rain is, never let a season go without something growing and reaping from it. You know, to have a number of politicians, probably his teachings were also politically based. And we would point to you that at one point when he was teaching in Homa Bay High School, he had to be dismissed. No, he was transferred. He was almost dismissed, but was transferred. Reason being that he had composed a song that the white people were uncomfortable with. Next time when we are doing a family choir production, we will produce that song. But at the moment, it's only one brother of us who can remember it. He will make it well, then we will make it known. The song that sent him away from Homa Bay High School. Now, his church involvement is also very interesting. He used to say like this in Luo, Kik uwe jokafiri chau. Which translates like, do not let the unbelievers despise you. Now, the description of his home, like when I was giving directions to my friends, is that the home is sandwiched between Seventh-day Adventist Church and ACK Parish. So it's sandwiched between churches and also sandwiched between schools. On one side, the secondary school, and the other side, this primary school. That shows you that Dad was a religious person who took religion very, very seriously. I think he would read severally at the verse that says, teach your children the ways of the Lord, and they shall never depart from it. And it goes on to say, and even if they forget, they will not go too far from it. So that is the kind of man that we had. He used to call prayers almost every other 3 months, and he had pastors who would come to our home severally. it has been said and a plea has been made. But I need to emphasize that Dad was very serious on community development, ranging from farming into other aspects of development. And here the TTI has been pointed out, but we also are struggling with a health center. Right behind this dais, there is a health center that we've been struggling with. This had been his dream, that the health center, Waondo has an health center, the TTI is there, the MTC that is going on in Mbita, and all our schools be the right things. Well, Dad lived his life sweetly up to his retirement. But after that, like you all know, he developed the diabetic ailment. But we are all surprised. Diseases like diabetes, high blood pressure, and all those terminal complications, people rarely live with them beyond 4 or 5 years. But Dad lived with this condition for over 35 years. He learned his lifestyle, he learned his health. He actually became a champion in diabetic management. So he managed it very well, and I think when it came to the time that it ended, we would just say that it was the end. So we are celebrating a man who has lived whole life and who has brought up whole families. I'm done, but I want to comment. I'm whispering, so don't listen to me. That Dad was married to 2 wives who gave birth generously. But there is something he never liked, that these children that he has brought up, none of them wants to go beyond the 3rd child.
We hear you well. We hear you. We hear you. We hear you. And I can see Senator has walked out, but TJ umesikia. Can you work very hard with my sister Nora? Thank you, Timothy, for that very wonderful brief you've given about Dad. Hallelujah. I want to agree with you when you talk about the TTI. I said it yesterday evening, that when the TTI came, Baba called me and said one word 3 times. Thank you, thank you, thank you. He was very passionate about the TTI. Let me take this opportunity to invite the brother to the deceased, Mzee Samuel Kitegi, to introduce the Nyakwamba family. And I'm requesting my brother Joe Koto to just come.
Any issues?
Osare uru duto te. Osare uru kendo.
Osare.
Jomobiro konya ywago owadwa. Anto neno nyose timo nyoro mang'eny. To luonga ka mondo introduce Nyakwamba family. Ng'ama somo urology chabo owache matin. Nyakwamba ne nigi nyithindo 9. Nyakwamba ne nigi nyithindo 9. En gi 3 ma yawuoyi to 6 manyiri. Apani oluwo gender. No, make sure ni 1/3, at least 1/3 gender noluwo. Nyithindwa 9 gi 2 osetho. Koro gi jaduong'ni 3 osetho. Achiel maduong' e dalawa ka ma jaduong' luwo bang'e eto tuo seriously ok obiro this occasion. To koro wadong' ji 5. Adwa ni gichung' mondo unegi. Tadak chunguru mondo neu. Chunguru. Gin ji 5. Elena maluwo bang' jaduong' nitie. Erowevnu. Rebecca maluwo bang' Salome manosetho e kindi kanyo nitie. Wave Rebecca. Esther to koro luwa. Entie Esther ere. At one time she was MCA Omabay nominated. Koro an aluwa jaduong' machien kabisa. Indwa gi jaduong' en 13 years. Adwa nyiso ni jaduong' in his life opuonje 13 schools. 13 schools, primary and intermediate schools. Kuonde mopuonje go, he mentioned to you ng'at manopuonjo, and they were proud of him. Jaduong' ondike gini ta adwa summarize. Jaduong' kanose somo motimo P2 noyudo ni mano okoromo. Owe headmastership kodhi timo school, Cambridge school certificate on his own. Kwa apa ndalo manopuonjo cha nochoko pesa modwa dhi timogo school certificate. Koro kosetieko mano, oduogo to bedo P1. Gipuonj mang'eny mopuonjogo. Giduto ne recognize ni en a good teacher. Bang'e odhi otimo S1. S1 chal gi diploma. Ne gichake gi Siriba. Ogitieke gi Kenyatta College. Ne gin gi Mr. Opem owadgi Honorable Adipo Kuome. Ne gin gi Jeremiah Opeo. Some of you might know them. Gi jomoko go te. Kata mana kane en Bugema, ne en gi jok ma bang'e obedo joma dongo, although en japuonj. To jogo ne recognize. Ne gi recognize kaka ng'ama able to do more than even what he was doing. Apani with those few remarks, okanyal forget. One time kan watimo arambe mar Waundo Secondary School, ne watime Waundo Primary ka. Ndalogo chikne tek ma ng'at ma ok nie Kanu. Pani ka ji Kanu ok omiyi permission to hold arambe. Ok ni nyal. Chiefs mano yien mondo Honorable Raila Odinga, they were almost being dismissed. Onwa pondo kode, mwa tere odi jaduong, mwa garambe kanyo. Ma waundo secondary school almost started in the hand of the right Prime Minister, Honorable Raila Odinga. Erokamano, mane kamanadwa, I liked. Thank you very much for listening to me.
Thank you very much, Wana Mary. I'll request to interrupt that family process because His Excellency Governor Nderitu Muredi is hard pressed for time, and I'm going to call. I'm going to call the party chairman to come back and help us with that process.
Jothurwa assignment natin kabisa. Assignment na, I want to take this opportunity. There's one of our very good friends who is here with us, who has come to condole with the family and the entire people of Homa Bay County. His Excellency, the Governor for Laikipia, Nderitu Muredi, karibu Mheshimiwa, so that you speak with the people of Homa Bay. Asante sana.
Asante sana, Bwana Chairman.